Welcome back to Rewired and Desired, where intimacy, mindset, and disability intersect. I am your co host, Nicole Richards, and we have my lovely other co host, Trina Ricketts. And
Hello.
today we are going to be talking about how to look sexy and feel confident and beautiful with an ostomy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, getting right into it, Trina, why don't you open up with this one?
Sure.
Feel like you have a lot of good stuff to say about this.
Well, I do actually like to give advice on how to look good with an ostomy because I've gone through my phases. And actually, we talked about this before, how when you got your surgery, you just got rid of a bunch of clothes.
Yes.
So did I.
Jeans especially.
Yeah. Well, and most of my jeans were really low, but like some also, so yeah, so here's the thing. We actually have a lot of options when it comes to clothes. And kind of like the two ways we can go in my mind with pants, for instance, are either high-waisted, if you can fit your ostomy underneath your high-waisted pants or skirt or
Sure.
whatever, or like hipster, and then you have your bag out and you can either put like a bag cover on it
Mhm.
or just let it all hang out. Some people like to wear, like fitted at the top and then the bottom of the shirt
Yeah.
is flared, so it's not as noticeable. I used to wear really tighter shirts because I always had like a
Mhm.
pretty flat stomach. And when I had my ostomy surgery, I thought I'm never going to be able to wear tight things again. So I got
Yeah.
rid of everything tight that
hmm
I had
hmm
and I
Well,
had to rebuild it.
and it's kind of preference. Like I was talking to my friend who lives out around the East Coast, and she is designing this shirt, and she's about to launch in a few months. But you wear your bag on the outside of your clothing, and then so you're not wearing high waisted because she doesn't like high waisted, and so you literally tuck the bag into the shirt. It has a special pocket for it.
Wow.
Right. And so for me, I don't, I mean, I can't wait to try it because I'm someone who like wears the high waisted.
Hmm.
I have my own underwear company. I have the pocket inside so that the bag sits not against your skin. So
Hmm.
there's two different ways, but she did mention that she was afraid. She still is. She doesn't like to compress her bag or
Hmm.
wear tight fitting clothing where I do.
Me too.
I want to hide it. But I've always been someone who likes tight fitting,
Hmm.
form, wants to, press things out. So it's preference, but then also I've realized for some ostomates, they've been getting their surgeries have been higher. So
Hmm.
way above their belly button.
So that's not
Where
really an option.
so it's not after where mine is lower. So it's
Hmm.
it's dependent, but it's also preference. So
And there's also, to me, like some of the worst leak stories I've heard are people who had two-piece system and it somehow snagged and
mm,
came off. And so like I wear a two-piece system and I'm worried that if I was letting my bag hang out, that it would get
yeah,
snagged and pulled
yeah,
off.
yeah.
I feel really confident with it held against my body,
So do I.
you know?
So do I. Yeah. And I think that's part of the not feeling like it's showing type through your clothing, right? Because if you're covering it up, then you don't feel like it's not drawing attention.
Yeah.
Like even sometimes just wearing leggings, I can notice, the circle is very, very apparent
Yeah.
where my bag attaches to my appliance. So
I got a
yeah.
little belly bulge right in that area.
Ooh, are you sure it's a belly bulge?
Yeah, it's a belly bag
Or
bulge.
you just or are you just happy to see me?
I'll have to think about that one. That's
That's
funny.
good.
But yeah,
Um,
it's
mhm.
definitely an option, like depending on what people like. Like I can't imagine just walking around with my bag out. I've thought about buying one of those. I just love it. Love this
Mhm.
fashion. It's like a over the shoulder bag and it's cut
Okay, yeah,
out in the back so that
yeah,
the bag your bag ostomy bag goes in it
it's
and
in
then
it.
you have like so it just looks
Mhm.
like your shoulder bag.
Yeah,
And it's so hot. I think it looks so like
it is
sexy on
cute.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that. Somebody posted actually in the group about it. But it makes sense because it also, if you're like going to the beach,
Hmm.
you could
Yeah.
just wear that
Less tan lines. Yeah,
and still wear a two-piece swimsuit and be
totally.
covering your bag. Yeah.
But
So
I
yeah,
also cover mine to muffle the noises too. So I would be nervous about it being noisier if it's just hanging out like that too.
that's so true. That's so true because I find myself, I do know that when I put a little compression on it, it does help for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then two, I think part of that is, when we're speaking about like looking good at Zossamid and, really paying attention to, our what we look like, just emptying our bag or changing our bag is a huge part of that. I think I find myself changing my bags maybe more often than I should for the supplies that I have,
Yeah.
but that's how I feel
Mhm.
confident. That's how I feel, good about myself because they say there's like a phantom smell, and I feel that a lot. Like I feel,
Really?
yeah, I feel like I can smell it sometimes. But it's also the bags that I wear and the material they're made out of. They that mixed with poop just creates a smell that I feel like I can smell. So
Oh,
it's
weird.
important.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
thought about trying a different system to see
Well,
if
that's
that
why
makes
I
a
asked you.
difference?
Oh, I've tried. I've
Yeah.
tried another system and it did not work.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that's right.
I'm not doing that. But that's why I asked you, messaged you a couple weeks ago, like what drops do you use? Because you swear by that. Is it M9 or something?
M9 is one of the ones I use.
Okay.
The one that I buy in Canada is Nascent,
Okay.
Nascent, and it's less expensive. M9 is quite expensive.
Is
But
it?
I've tried a few different odor drops and they all work.
Do they? I've never honestly tried them.
I mean, couldn't live without them.
Yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't.
okay, so if you don't use them, do you feel like you smell?
I mean, I don't know because I've never not used them. When I had my first ostomy years ago, I don't remember worrying about my smell, but I do remember before I had the odor drops how bad it made the bathroom smell. And
Okay.
that embarrassed me because I wasn't in a safe relationship,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
like embarrassed in front of my not very
Yeah.
nice husband.
Yeah. So do the drops actually help you not smell when you're emptying your bag or
Yeah,
changing your bag?
yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
sometimes if the bag is like fuller, like in the middle of the night or something, I'll add drops to it and like kind of, let it swish around before I'll empty it. That way there's no smell in the bathroom. But
Oh,
normally I
okay.
don't have to do that because it's not usually that full. And whatever
Yeah.
drops I have put in, like I just put drops in every time I change it, a couple drops.
I'm gonna do this because note to self, once actually do start dating again, like there to be smelly in the bathroom.
I
So
know.
that's great to know because I thought it was just like really just when you're wearing the bag and like, but I didn't realize if you once you take your bag off, there's not smell.
Like I don't think you should have any smell at any time with the bag except for when you're emptying it. And if you can have drops and avoid that, then at least for me, I'm really sensitive to smells. And the first
I
time
am
I had the
too.
ostomy, I hated the smells so much. That was a big part of why I wanted my life to
Get rid
end
of it.
if I had to keep it.
Mhm.
Because I didn't know about odor drops and I thought I was
Yeah,
going to have to deal with that smell for the rest of my life. So when
yeah,
I found out about odor drops, like this time I bought them before I went to the hospital
yeah.
for my
Good idea.
surgery because I was like,
He's
oh my,
like, yeah, I'm starting out this way, baby. There's
yeah,
no in
it's
between.
just made a big difference for me. Huge
Okay.
difference. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know. So yeah, so note to audience, deodorizer, making sure your bags change, and then too, just like part of that, I think, is also making sure you're changing when you're supposed to avoid the leaks as it is, but then too to avoid the smell because when it starts like peeling back from your skin, you can start to smell more than, when you have a fresh change, right? So that's important. That's important to for our
That
hygiene,
has
right?
not happened to me. Maybe it's because of the odor drops. I don't know.
Maybe. And
But I've not
probably
had any deal. The only time I smelled anything was when my bag tore once and I got a little
okay.
bit of a smell and I was like, oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably, yeah. So these drops, man, sounds where it's at. I'm all about it. I'm doing
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
And like I've also
Um,
heard some people have problems with like their filter can cause a
yeah,
smell. And for me,
yeah.
I cover my filter.
See, I don't. So maybe I should.
Maybe. I mean, I like if I don't, then it suctions to my stoma and then I'll get leaks. Like it'll start pancaking if I do that, if I have a
Mhm.
filter, because the filters
Okay.
in my bags are so good that they're just
Yeah.
like there's no air in there. I'd rather just go and get the air out whenever there's a little bit of air.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna try those things, and clearly you all should too.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, one thing I never did before I had an ostomy is I never wore high-waisted pants. I'm right now wearing a high-waisted sweatpants,
so
you
you
know?
did it before?
I never did, ever. Everything
Hmm.
was more hipster, low-waisted. And so
Yeah.
I actually was so excited once I started wearing high-waisted because I was like, these are so comfortable. Why didn't I
Yeah,
find
they
these
are.
before?
Yeah.
And they're really just, and then I started buying crop tops. Before that, I
Yeah.
wouldn't wear crop tops because of my
But
scars.
yeah, and it would be too low, so you'd have a big section of your tummy showing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly I had no belly button and really bad scars, and my tattoo was all messed up from my previous surgery, so I didn't want to show my stomach.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wear crop tops, and now I can wear crop tops again.
Yeah. Cute outfit.
Thanks. I love
And it's
crop
not,
tops.
and it's simple, and it's simple,
Hmm.
and that's the point too, is like, you know, eh, dressing with what's comfortable,
Hmm.
but also, like you said, just because you have an ostomy doesn't mean you can't like be seen, doesn't mean that you can't be fashionable. You know Jerlene Taylor, right?
Yeah,
She's in a
she's
she's a
gorgeous.
model, she's a double osmond, she's
Hmm.
beautiful. She is all about fashion. If you don't follow her, you should.
Yeah,
And
she's
she's a
amazing.
spokesperson for many, many different organizations. But yeah, just it can be done. It just
Hmm.
requires planning. And it is important to keep your style, but also you're presenting to the world. And because you're feeling, I don't want to say, because in the beginning, some people think they feel gross or dirty
Hmm.
or whatever, even more of a reason to present yourself beautifully to the
Yeah.
world,
Well, I went
right?
through like a major phase, the first ostomy, where I wore everything baggy. I rolled down my sweatpants so nothing touched. But then I was also, I had like, it was an emergency surgery. I had wounds that wouldn't heal. It was just
Hmm.
all a nightmare, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was wearing like oversized clothes. My bag was hanging out. So when it farted, it was really loud and I
Yeah.
felt like crap. And I was really ashamed of the bag and ashamed of the smell that it made and didn't feel beautiful, didn't feel sexy. I let it destroy me. And
Yeah.
I didn't do that the second time. And that's why I think, finding a way to feel like you look good is really helpful for our insecurities, like to help us
Sure.
get over our insecurities.
Yeah.
Because people don't actually notice, nobody notices the bag
Yeah.
unless we're wearing it out, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it's under our clothes, nobody notices it. Nobody
Yeah.
sees it. So we can look good and feel good. I, for a long time, would only wear shirts that were long enough to kind of hide in case the bag got air in it. I don't even care anymore. I wear jeans and
Yeah.
crop tops now, and I just go to the bathroom often and let
Yeah.
the air out if any air
Yeah.
is in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Or
do
change
my
the bag.
fasting and take my Imodium, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
work with it so that when I'm at an event or I'm engaging in intimacy or whatever it is, where at that moment I really don't want anything to happen,
Hmm.
there's less of a chance.
100%.
And then
100.
having the compression garments on top of it really muffles any noise,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it makes me feel pretty comfortable and confident going to like my kids' performances where everyone's super quiet,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. You find what works for you. You
Mhm.
have it, it takes some time. It's no reason we shouldn't leave the house or try to look good, however that as to ourselves. Um, but it does take a little time to figure it out,
I
like
mean,
you
I'm
said.
still experimenting with what I can
Yeah.
get away with clothing wise.
Yes. Yes. And
And
it doesn't have to, I just I feel like all of these things, you don't have to have a ton of money to make a big difference in the way that you present, right?
especially if
Um,
you're a thrifter like me.
Me too. I'm so excited to go home and thrift because well, out here thrift stores are still super expensive, but I don't can't even leave the house to go do it.
Mhm.
So I'm super excited to go home and like revamp my closet with all sorts of thrift
As
finds.
a
Yeah.
single woman getting out there.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, yeah, we'll see if I have enough time for it.
But
Um,
looking good with like an ostomy is surely for sure there's like clothes are an issue or something we want to pay attention to. But I think another thing that a lot of people don't think about or notice is posture.
hmm.
Like when you sit in, next time you're sitting in a restaurant or a library or anywhere where people are sitting, look around.
Mhm.
And I am shocked sometimes that sometimes I'm the only person in the whole place that's not like this.
Yeah. Yep.
And like,
Yep.
look at the difference from slouching
From this to this,
to
which
this.
I was kind of slouching, but I'm actually playing on my,
Well, I mean, when you're sitting at a computer, there's a little bit,
yeah, it's
there's
hard.
always like a little when you're relaxing your shoulders or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like people who are
Yeah.
curled in
Yeah.
from looking at their phones and curled in
Yeah.
from feeling insecure.
Well,
And
and two, like just like in the dinner, like if you're out to dinner or you're at the bar, I mean, even more of a reason to show up confidently, right? Because
yeah,
you're approachable. You know, if you're kind of hunched over doing this, you're not approachable.
true.
You want to be approachable. Like, don't
And
let the fact that you have this ostomy keep you from, communicating and meeting people,
yeah.
whether you're single or not single. Like, the bar area is like such a nice place to sit and start talking to the couple next to you and get to know
Hmm.
them.
And
You don't know
having
who
that
you're going to
open
meet.
energy, like you said,
Hmm.
it draws good energy to you,
Yeah.
sitting there like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. And two, you even said just even standing too. Didn't you have like a posture way of like just making yourself,
Yeah, like what
look a
I
little
do for
more
my
attractive?
posture is I pretend there's a string in the center of my head pulling me up to the roof. And it
Okay.
just pulls me up without
Mm.
making me like this. Like, oh,
Yeah.
no, it just
Yeah.
pulls me up. Just gives you a little bit of a lift and makes you feel
About
more,
that.
you know. I
Yep.
mean, I pay attention a lot to my posture, so it comes naturally to me. But when someone hasn't paid a lot of attention to their posture for a long time, it can be really difficult to train yourself. So it's just really a matter of every time you catch yourself doing this, trying to lift yourself back up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can also buy those things that hold your shoulders back.
Oh,
But posture, even if you're the most insecure person in the world, if you have good posture, you look confident.
yes. Yes, I agree. I agree.
And
And
I'm way more attracted to a man with good posture. Just saying, like, they look confident. They look
and
like they
yeah,
could handle themselves.
yeah. And I've said that before too. It's like, I don't care what you look like. If you have confidence, you've already sucked me in somehow.
Hmm.
Hopefully, you're not narcissistic as well, because there's that. But if
Because
you have
that sucked me in
confidence,
too.
but if you have a level of confidence,
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
of course, to a point, right? I mean, yeah. But if you're most
totally.
likely, oh, I'm going zooming in and out. Sorry, this thing's zoomy. Yeah, there's just a level of confidence that like screams, here I am.
Yeah.
And
And it
I
doesn't matter the weight of the person or the
know,
height of the person
yeah.
or whether they have an ostomy or not. There's just something about a person who is comfortable in their own skin, going about
Mhm.
life, saying, this is me, I
Yeah,
accept me, and
yeah,
I don't care if anyone else does.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And well, I guess we kind of talked a little bit about hygiene, but I mean, so I watched this YouTuber, and this is specific, well, this is for female or males, but she was specifically referring to females, but she said the number one thing with your like hygiene, hands down, everything is tongue scraping.
Oh, wow. Okay, good to know.
And I think that's even more important for us because we deal with a lot of dry mouth. We deal
Hmm.
with a lot of, bacteria, especially that affects our teeth. So
Hmm.
tongue scraping,
We've
um,
all been on probably a shit ton of antibiotics.
yeah,
Those of
yeah,
us with Crohn's and whatnot, we've been dealing
mhm,
with imbalanced bacteria and
yeah,
microbiomes for
yeah,
how much? Our whole lives,
yeah,
maybe, some of us.
yeah. And our gut, it goes up. I mean,
Oh,
get
yeah.
acid reflux, like
All
all of
connected.
that. So tongue scraper is what she said. And I immediately purchased one. I was like,
I
doing
just
this.
scrub with my toothbrush, but I'll get a scraper now.
Yeah, she said get a scraper.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, but my son and my daughter always had them, and I didn't know what they were. I was like, "What is that?" Found out it was a tongue scraper. So yeah. Also, I think another thing is just like either clean nails or
Mm.
polished, but it doesn't like this is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can get the
Yeah.
press-ons. I get those press-ons now.
Hmm.
I'm over going and paying 60, $80 at the salon to get something that's
Ridiculous.
only going to last a few weeks.
Hmm. I know.
nobody has time for that or the
Nobody has
money.
money for that these days.
Nobody has time or money. Like those are or energy, right? To sit there and not
I
be
mean,
able to
I
do
love
them.
it. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the
I love it, but I
I
don't do
like
it because
pedicures,
it's
but
so expensive. That's why I don't do it. I feel
yeah.
like I can only do that when it's a treat for some.
Yeah, and a pedicure is a great kind of treat too because it's harder to get to. They mess with your feet, and like you only need to do it once or twice a year, and like
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, but as far as nails go, it's nice every once in a while. But also, you're in between time, just polish your nails,
Yeah.
or just put the press-ons, the $10 press-ons. They last and they look really good actually. So that's something I found
Hmm.
that's really nice. And then like hair. So I don't know how you are. I wash my hair once a week
Hmm. I do it
because
once or twice. Yeah.
once or twice, and then in between, just using some dry shampoo.
Nice.
And
I get my hair
yeah,
wet every day because it's curly and it gets really funny, but I
uh-huh.
only shampoo it once or twice a week. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Do you have to use spray or anything in between?
I use conditioner just because to get my fingers through it because it gets
Okay. Like
knotted and
daily
whatnot.
or like daily? And then do you use dry shampoo or you don't need to?
No, never use
Nice.
it.
Wow. Okay, so that's what I have to,
I
especially
think it's different
here.
with curly versus straight hair too. I
Yeah.
think that I think curly hair is more coarse.
Yes. And humidity has I've noticed this a lot to do with if you're in
Mm.
a place where there's more humidity. So here in California, I'm right by the ocean. Something about the salty air, I don't it makes me greasier faster.
Mm.
So I have to use more dry shampoo because I just don't want to dry out the rest of my hair. So
Yeah, no
uh,
doubt.
this is probably more geared towards women, but I think
Well,
men too. There's a
I do have some advice for men. Oh.
go for it. You're like I've experienced this.
Okay, I'm 52 years old and I'm single and dating, and there are a few things that I wish men my age and older would do. And a
Mhm.
lot of them don't do it. And
Okay.
pretty much to sum it up, it's manscaping. And
Oh,
I'm not talking about down there, I'm talking about up here. Like, I don't know how many men I've seen that their eyebrow hair actually like grows down so far that it's kind of hanging over their eyelids almost into their eyes.
no way.
You know, or like the ear or the nose
Weird.
hair that they got to
Hmm.
clean their ears too. Another thing. You give a
Yeah.
guy a hug and you can smell their earwax. Like,
Oh, you do have a
I'm
sensitive
very
nose.
sensitive with the smell. Yeah,
Oh,
smells
hey,
are very
that's
sensitive to me. Really strong shampoos and stuff. A lot of men wear way too much cologne.
oh yeah, that gives me a headache.
It's so strong that like
Oh,
you smell them all day after you give them one hug. That
yeah,
could
no,
make a woman never want to hug you again.
100%.
Like go easy on those scents, you
But
know?
that goes both ways for women too, because some
Yes,
women wear perfume that it
I
just makes
know.
you sick. Hmm.
It's like you're sitting next to a box full of dryer sheets,
Yeah, yeah,
which are
100%.
also toxic. You know, in
Mhm.
case people don't know this, dryer sheets are toxic. You can look it up online, and I think everyone should stop using them. I
Yeah,
don't use
I
them.
use those balls, the
Yeah,
balls
the
with
balls.
the essential oil.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't even use balls, but I
Yeah,
find if you don't over dry your laundry, it doesn't get staticky.
yeah, okay,
That's the main
perfect.
thing, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I wish men would be more like careful with their hair. Also, personally, I find older men with longer hair that it looks less attractive. That's
Okay.
maybe my own preference, but I find that as men's hair gets older, it can get coarser and grayer.
Okay.
That's one thing. So it doesn't look like this luscious, beautiful long hair.
Sure.
And also, it can get kind of thinner
Hmm.
and look like just I find
Yeah,
it not as attractive as a clean cut man. That's my
yeah,
personal opinion.
yeah.
And so if you're a guy and you're tr having trouble dating and you
Hmm.
have long hair, maybe, just maybe if you got a haircut
Yeah,
and trimmed your other stuff and like stood up tall, you
yeah.
might get some dates. Like that simple, that easy, you know?
So have you seen the videos where there'll be the really hot guy online and he'll be doing some kind of and they do these things to the camera, but they're wearing a hat and the ladies in the audience are calling him out like, "Oh, but let's see you with your hat off." Because more than times than not, they're like bald on top and then
Yeah.
just have hair down here.
Hmm.
That's kind of a it's that's kind of like a bait and switch type kind of activity, right? Because we're thinking, you got this luscious locks that are coming out of your
What you're basically saying when you say that is that when a man has a receding hairline, the best thing to do is shave it.
shave it.
Just shave
Yes.
it. Just
Just
shave
be
it.
bald.
Bald men are considered sexy by most women.
Very,
Yeah.
very. Yeah.
My
Don't
ex,
try to hide it.
one of my exes, he was balding from quite a young age. So he'd been shaving his head for years and years and years. And when we were together, he heard about this procedure that you could get where you get tattooed dots all over your head. So it looks like you just have a crew cut.
Oh,
So when
okay.
you shave your head, there's like, some hair that's kind of stubbly down here, but not on
That's
top.
kind of cool.
But if you
Hmm.
get it all tattooed in on top, then it looks like
Cool.
you have a full head of hair that you just shave.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to do that, and he wasn't sure like if I would support him. And I was like, if you feel, I had no idea that he had like insecurity about his
Yeah.
bald
Sure.
head because he was very confident, masculine man, and I never would have guessed. But
Hmm.
he admitted to me that it made him insecure about his head. And so he went and got the tattooing done and like never felt insecure about it again.
Did it
Now,
look really good?
I mean, you can't tell that it looks like he has a hairline, you know?
That's so cool. Huh.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's options, right, for people
Yeah.
depending on what you want to spend, but most women, I don't think that he has more women interested in him because he did that. I think that
Yeah.
the same amount of women are interested
Sure.
in
For
him
sure.
because
For
he
sure.
looked good before, he looked good after.
Yeah.
It's mostly
Yeah.
his confidence, his personality.
Hmm.
But yeah, but if he had this gorgeous, tall, confident looking man, if he had just hair around the edges and the back, women would not find him as attractive.
Mm. Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of
I
guys
get
do. A
that.
lot of guys that have long
I get
hair
that.
and don't want to give it up. They don't want to give up their long hair
Yeah.
and it's receding on
Yeah.
top and they've got
Yeah.
long hair in the back. It's not
I
the
get it.
most
Right. And I think
popular do.
some people, some men, I don't know if most men think this way, but I know like there's a spiritual thing to having long hair.
Mhm.
And your hair is tied to your connection in some
Mm.
people and in some cultures. So there could be some of that going on. But I think ultimately, yeah, if you're more concerned about the appearance side of it, it doesn't hurt just to shave it off.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
And
that
that's
makes
I hope that that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings because I have a lot I know lots of people with receding hairlines and it
yeah,
just if you do if you look at the studies that have been done like the polls that have been done, women predominantly prefer the man to shave the head. Not to
yeah,
say there isn't women that wouldn't. There are
yeah.
probably
There
women
might be.
who
This
would
is just
rather
our
you have the long
opinions.
hair
Yeah, yeah, just our opinions.
yeah.
Mhm. Take it for
And
what it's worth. It doesn't mean
another
anything.
thing with men that I want to mention is if they're really overweight and they wear tight t-shirts that like kind of accentuate their moobs.
Man boobs, yeah.
Yeah. That to me is like, I think guys that are a little heavier should just stick with the button-up shirts. They look good on you. They
Yeah,
look so good
yeah.
on you. Wear your t-shirt when you're at home watching TV, but when you're
Right.
out and you're meeting people or you're going on a date or anything like that, get into a button-up shirt. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I've seen YouTube videos, but if you look back at like the 1940s and 50s, people dressed up, even going to a little league baseball game, right?
Yeah.
They got to, and in no way do I think we need to go back to that. We don't need to revert, right?
I would love it though.
I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice. I often find myself just daydreaming about living in those days or like
Mhm.
finding outfits that would, like that would be me,
Those
right?
long A-frame skirts and the
Yeah, just the
big brimmed
pretty,
hats.
yes, the hats and the purses and yeah, all the stuff. But reality is we're not living in that time frame and doing that to go to you would look very out of place, right? So
Mhm.
we're not saying like go be that dressed up. However, there was another video I watched recently about people calling other people out for wearing their pajamas
Hmm.
to airports. Actually, I think it was like someone in charge was like, stop wearing your pajamas here. Like back in the day, like even just like 10, 15 years ago, more people traveled for business. So you
Mhm.
saw more people wearing suits and ties and all that thing, but that's become a thing of the past now that we're after the pandemic, we're more Zoom oriented, so we're having most of these meetings online. But a lot of people are still going on vacation as well or going to trips, and they're wearing pajamas to the airport. And I even saw a video of a woman calling out other Black women for wearing their bonnets
I
out
saw
in
that
public.
too.
I understand why they have to be worn, but they're saying in public, don't wear them
Yeah.
out,
Well, I
because,
almost purchased one because I wanted to be able to cover my hair. I've been having a problem since I've been doing this online stuff where people recognize me and I've been wanting to cover my hair, but I don't want to like
mhm,
make it flat,
yeah, yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
what a bonnet would come in
but
handy
yeah,
for. But
yes.
they are so ugly. I just hate them.
I think they're cute, but
I don't think so.
I don't think wearing them in public probably is, I don't know,
I
according
mean,
to
they
this
look
woman.
fine on other people, but when I put it on, I thought it looked ugly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, so I think it's just those like etiquette things of, and I will say that I catch myself sometimes like being like, why are you like and I'll just bring the garbage out to the front and I'm like, did you really need to wear your ugly slippers like out there? And there's all these people walking by and I'm just like, here I am. I will say that sometimes I have to catch my own self because I get so stuck in the same routine. And that I think is where it comes from. We get stuck in the same routine. So maybe we don't go out a lot. Maybe we're home a lot. And then we forget, we fall off, we fall off, we fall off. And then something big happens in our lives where we're like, okay, I need to catch myself like because I'm slipping, I'm slipping a little bit. I need to like work on things.
Me
And
too.
yeah, yeah. But that's just like the nature of it. Sometimes we
Mhm.
get stuck in those routines. Like I was home for 9 months with broken pelvis for 5 fractures. Like, of course, did I care? No. Even right now, I need to get my hair done, but I'm in this position where I'm caregiving and I can't go anywhere to get my hair done. So
Mhm.
it's fine. I'll wait till I go back home. I'll get it done. I know I need to, but in the meantime, I just freshen it up as best I can, make it look as sleek as I can. So you make do with what you have. And I think that's kind of the message as well, right?
Well, I think you really touched on something there. Like, I think when you've been through what we've all been through with our ostomy surgeries and our cancer journeys or whatever it is that led us to the point where we now have ostomies, you really start to not give a fuck
Yeah,
about shit.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't give a fuck. I'm wearing my pajamas to the
heck
airport, or
yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
I'm wearing my bunny slippers to the
yeah.
corner to put the garbage out or whatever. And I think that there's value in that attitude. And I feel like that's emotional growth when we can start letting go of those stupid things that really don't matter.
Yeah.
But if we want to attract someone or if we want to
There.
be attractive, then we have to think about that. And a good example for me is my mom got us some tickets to a hockey game. And that day I was super busy. And then finally it's time to go. And I get all the way to the hockey game with my kids and a couple of friends. And I'm looking around and there's some cute guys around there. And then I look down. I think I was wearing like this outfit. Like
Uh-huh.
I completely forgot to change, freshen up, make myself because I was in such a hurry and I didn't even think of it. And I just thought, I'm out for the night ha with a bunch of friends and family and having a great time. And I look like I should be at home baking cookies or something like
Right, right,
and I
right.
did not look attractive. That's all I'm saying. And I thought, I could have put some effort into this.
Well, too, part of manifesting your desired reality is you live the way that that person you want to be would act, would live. You
Mhm.
act that way. And that goes down to the dressing, the communicating, the all the things. So if you're going to attract even just people like clients or coaching clients or people in our networking environment of ostomy related, right? We want to show up as best as we can to attract the right people.
Yeah.
But and it may be different for people listening. Maybe they're in an environment where they're construction workers. They're going to go to a construction conference. Hey, you want to wear your construction outfit, but you
Yeah.
also, but
The
not the
Carhartts.
dirty, not yeah. You're good construction outfits, right? Your
Yeah.
construction outfit says, "Show, hey, I'm successful," and it doesn't mean they
Hmm.
have to be the best or the top line. Like you're not going to find me in Chanel and Louis
Hmm.
Vuitton and Louboutins and all these things. You're going to find me in that, but you can easily go thrifting to find the cute knockoffs, or it doesn't even have to be a knockoff, essentially, just cute substitutes, if you will,
Yeah.
right?
And I really like what you said about how, like, if you want to become a certain person, if you wish, I wish I was like this. If that's you, then the way to become that person is to start acting like you are already like that person.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
already are that person. And they say that with all the gurus recommend
yeah,
that. They all
yeah,
recommend that.
yeah,
Act as if you
yeah,
already are, you already do, you already have,
yeah.
and then
I
you'll draw it to you.
Yes, I remind myself. I had a in my room. It was before I left Minnesota, but I wrote it on my board. I said, "Would the person you are trying to be tomorrow be acting this way today?" Or
Mhm.
something of that nature. But I think that's a good way because it is our dress. It's the way it's they say something about when you first meet somebody, people have already decided who you are in the first like few minutes.
Yes. And that I'm so glad you said that because that's the main reason why we should try to look, presentable when we're presenting ourselves to the world. Because even if it's not fair that, people might think I'm this or that because I'm covered in tattoos, even though it's not fair, people will immediately judge me because of my
Yeah,
tattoos. They'll
yeah,
either judge me they don't like
yeah.
people with tattoos or they don't like
Great.
tattoos or they'll judge me like, "Oh, I really like her tattoos."
Mhm.
But there's an immediate judgment about the
Yeah,
tattoos. There's
yeah.
a judgment about my height. "Oh my God, you're shorter than I thought you were." There's an immediate judgment when we meet people. We scan them and we decide and we think, okay, I think this person is this. We don't actually
Yeah,
consciously think it, but subconsciously, based on previous information, will
yeah,
make assumptions about this person based on our belief system and our and previous
yeah,
people we've met. And
yeah.
then like, have you ever met someone, they look like someone else that
Hmm.
you know that
Yes,
you really don't like, and so
yes,
you immediately think you're not going to like this person?
yes. I hate when that happens. I haven't had that happen in a while, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yes, yes.
Or the opposite. You think that you see someone that looks really similar to someone that you just adore, and you assume that person's going to be so amazing, and then they turn out to be jerks or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like but
yeah,
we have these assumptions. Or people have it with celebrities where a lot of people for years thought Ellen DeGeneres was like this amazing woman.
yeah.
I thought so. I
I
loved how
thought so
she'd do
too.
her
I loved
dancing.
watching her.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh,
And now it comes out that she was one of the biggest bees
abusive.
ever.
Yeah, she abused. Yeah, some of her people. I think though too as women, because I had this experience where I had a friend who was like living with us for a period of time when we were living in California at one point, and she she like downed me
Mhm.
for like getting dressed to go check the mail. And I think ever since then felt I felt like she was trying to say to me that I was trying to be showy or something of that nature, right? But
Mm.
but it psychologically, it
Mhm.
only made me realize recently that actually what she said made me wasn't what I was trying to do. I
Mhm.
wasn't trying to be. I was just that's where I was in my life. And
Mhm.
then it made me from there feel like I needed to dim myself. And I
Yeah,
think as women, I think we do that a lot because we've had men or abusive relationships say, "Why do you got to get dressed up to go look check the mail? Why do you got to look good to go to
that's
the
true.
grocery store?"
That's true. But I think it's worse from women. I mean, yeah, if we've been in some of those really abusive relationships where guys are like
Mhm.
that, for sure. But
Yeah.
when you tell me that story, the first thing I think of is how women who are jealous will
Mm.
intentionally undermine our confidence by saying things like what your friend said to you. And the
Yeah.
minute someone says something like that to you, the first thing you should realize is that they are intentionally trying to hurt you because they're sick. They're sick.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
mentally unwell. They're
Yeah.
so jealous of you or they're so insecure about themselves that they want to try and take you down a notch. And
Mhm.
often people like this, and most of them are women in my experience,
Yeah.
often they do it all the time. They do it like regularly. So you'll have a
Yeah.
friend that almost regularly says these little undercutting comments.
Yeah.
And they say it in a way like they're trying to be your friend or they're making a joke or they're trying to let you know because they're concerned. Or they make it look like they're
Mm.
being a good friend. when they
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
that fools us. That fools us
Yeah.
into thinking they're only telling us because they want to be a good friend. No, they're not.
No.
They're trying to
Yeah.
hurt us. They're trying
Yeah.
to undermine our confidence. And when a friend tells you something that makes you feel sick because of how they said it or what they said,
Yeah.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, if not more, it was intentional. And that person, you probably need to just step back from them because they're
Yeah.
sick right now. They're going
Yeah.
through their own
Yeah.
shit, and we can't help someone when they're in that frame of mind
Yeah.
because they're in a frame of comparing themselves to other people. They're unhappy with their own life, and all they can do is drag you down.
Yeah.
Like happy people don't try to
Yeah.
tear other people down,
Yeah. It
you know?
seems like that is, and I've had that revelation many years ago. Is like one time I wanted to do this whole thing and I never did it, but it was like intentionally getting women to understand that we're not supposed to be tearing each other down, that we're supposed to
Mhm,
be building each other back up. And
mhm,
that's hard for women to do, really hard for women to do,
mhm.
you know?
That was
Um,
something I really experienced. Sorry, go on.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was going to say, like, when I became an exotic dancer, a stripper, I developed this confidence and I was around other women all day, every day. They were like gorgeous. I would see
Yeah,
them, you're always comparing yourselves to other people because
sure.
you're like, whoa, that person has way bigger boobs than me. That
Yeah,
person has a way bigger ass. That person
yeah.
is, for me, everyone was bigger because I'm tiny. And, and like, it's just because you're always just, it's natural that we will just naturally compare ourselves to other people
Yeah,
when you see them naked and stuff.
for sure, for sure.
But because we were all in the same business, we laughed a lot during our shifts, and there was this camaraderie among us. And you would find that people that worked in that industry were less likely to be that jealous girl because they have this confidence and this camaraderie with other women in the club.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I found that I would be able to teach some of my more like normal friends
yeah.
that weren't in the industry, like how to be more open-minded and supportive and not get jealous and not feel
Mhm,
insecure
mhm,
around other
mhm.
women and not make them your enemy
Yeah,
because you think that they're going to attract your boyfriend or
yeah,
you're in competition with them. And
yeah.
what a liberating feeling it
Mm,
is when you
yeah,
stop looking at other women that way.
gosh,
It's
yeah.
so incredible, but I do feel like it is an issue among women for sure.
Yeah, it is hard here where I live because I look out my window here and I see these beautiful women. However, I've got to the point where I'm not, I mean, it wasn't prior to that, but it, past times, right? Maybe years ago. But since I've been here, I haven't. But I do recognize them, but I recognize them in the beauty that they are, not in the like jealous kind of
Yeah.
like envious way, right? Because
Mhm.
I know that if I'm secure in myself, that I'm like, I'm not going to have that body. I am the age that I am. It's not going to, I can get better, but it's not going to be,
Mhm.
exactly what that was back in the day. And just be happy for them for what they're experiencing in their life
Mhm.
and knowing that I was there one time too, and now I'm here, and this
Yeah,
is this is who I am.
it's a part of aging for sure.
A
Like
part of
my
aging.
my
Yeah.
adult daughter's body is so perfect, and I just
Yeah.
think, wow, I wish I had that body when I was her age.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
had my perfect body at that age. And
Exactly.
yeah, and also a lot of it, like, okay, so there is, of course, having a perfectly flat stomach and all of that
Right.
comes with being young,
Yeah.
exercising all the time, plastic surgery, different things that
Right.
people do that can make them look so perfect. The
Yeah.
butt lifts and
Yeah.
everything else.
Mhm.
But there's also things that you can do that doesn't require any of that, which is just like wearing heels will
Yeah.
naturally cause you to tilt your hips in a way that your stomach doesn't stick out as much.
Yeah.
And walking with good posture will lean out your body as well. And
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
there's so many things that you can do that a lot of these women are probably doing to help themselves present well,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why like just wearing the right clothes. Like for
It
me,
is.
I like to tan. I like to have a bit of like
Mhm.
a what
Mhm.
I call a healthy glow.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel a little more confident. So, and a
Yeah.
lot of the women you'll see, I bet in Hollywood and LA and stuff are
Mhm.
probably very tanned because it's sunny there all the time. And
Mhm.
that makes
Mhm.
you look, that
Does.
helps. So
So helpful.
these are
Hmm.
all things that like you can do artificially, or if you're in a position like you're just not well enough right now, or you're caretaking and you can't leave the house, like
Mhm.
Nicole, um, or for whatever reason you can't like get out and do stuff like that, then obviously like you might get a. I used to, if I was well enough, I would go for a tan at the tanning
Yeah.
booth.
Yeah, but even this B-tan, I don't know. I think what it's called B-tan. I don't know, but I've been using it and I just love it. It's
Yeah,
after I've used it 2 days in a row, I have this great tan going on that I'm
that's
like,
awesome.
okay, that's all I need, sometimes just to feel a little bit better. So,
Yeah.
the other thing too is like one thing that was always engraved in my mind was my mom didn't do anything for herself. So she didn't buy herself new clothes. My mom didn't do these things, makeup. She never did makeup. She didn't get her hair, like she didn't do all these things. So that's the way I grew up. And so I was also a young mom. So I did a lot more for myself than my mom did. I often got my hair done and got nails and stuff on and off, right? Because like some days, some months had money and some months I had
Yep.
zero money.
I know the
But
feeling.
that's where I would get into that slump as well. And I think that's where also, we as moms and grandparents and what we tell ourselves is like, well, it doesn't matter anymore. But it does. And it does for you, number one.
Hmm.
You have to feel the way you want to feel. And if you want to feel good and meet people and get out a little bit, just take a little bit extra time to make yourself feel better. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That lack mentality doesn't
Present
have
well.
to, yes, present well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those are like the tips that I had. Yeah, I just think that the confidence piece is the most important thing, like you said, like just being confident alone is so incredibly sexy. Like you give me a confident man and
I
okay.
know. I know, me too. And that's why like an insecure man will be immediately unattractive as well.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So, and like confidence can come from practicing posture, dressing to impress, dressing in clothes that flatter your body.
Mhm.
And, I think the not giving an F attitude plays a role because not
Yeah.
caring what other people think does play a role. But just grooming and dressing
Yeah. Yeah.
presentable is a
Yeah.
huge factor in
Yeah.
feeling good about yourself and feeling confident and going out into the world and not trying to hide. Like sometimes when I'm really dressed like slobby and I'm out in public, like I just almost don't want anyone to see me,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
No, I do. I do. But I actually practice this. Gosh, where was I? And this would be a good tip for anybody. Gosh, where was I recently? I don't know where I was, but I was like, I knew that all these people around me were gorgeous, manicured, have had everything that they could have done. So what I practice doing often here is just walking straight up and owning the room. And not like in a snobby, like I'm better than them, because that's
No, you're
not, but
equal to them.
am equal to them.
Mhm.
And I can still walk in that room and know that nothing I'm wearing is name brand or what they might be looking for in tags and designers. But that doesn't matter. I'm just going to walk in and own the room. Like,
Yeah.
walk, hi. That I belong here too. So it's being seen and being heard, right? You
Hmm.
can be. Hmm.
Yep. And when you feel that strong enough to walk into a room and not feel like, oh, I stand out, people are looking at me, I'm not like everyone else. If you
Yeah.
can just be like, no, I'm me and I like me and they'll probably like me.
They
And if they don't, then they're lost.
and they probably will like you. That's the thing. Like people love that authentic person.
Yeah,
They love that. Like
they
that's
do. I know
so
I do.
you do. You do.
So be authentic.
Be authentic, be confident. Just do the little things that help you feel good. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's actually pretty simple.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, awesome. I think that's good. That's all I have anyways.
that's all for this episode.
That's all for this episode. You
Um,
all have a great rest of your week. Next week's topic is undetermined yet, but we
thought you were going
will.
to tell me what it was.
No. Next week topic. No, it's undetermined, but we'll get back to you. You'll
Hmm.
see. It'll be surprise maybe.
Yeah, give us ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Ideas. Comment below.
Oh, I was like, thumbs down. No, no, no,
Not
down
down,
below. Thumbs
below.
up.
Love it.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Welcome back to Rewired and Desire, where mindset is
Sorry.
Uh,